I want to know how to make games where the enemies direct the players to play it correctly. I know the perfect example of what I'm looking for. For those who don't know, the Left 4 Dead franchise is about four survivors trying to get through the zombie apocalypse and get to safety in whatever form that may take. This is one of the first games, besides Resident Evil, and those aren't really zombies according to the lore, to give us the special infected trope. The different mutated zombie types like the boomers, the smokers, and the tanks. Through that, it gave us this amazing chess set of enemies that were perfectly designed to keep us in line. That is to say, playing the game the way the designers intended. So let's find out how they did it and see how we can apply that to our own games. So one of the main tenets of Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 is its focus on teamwork. To win, you and your groupies need to act like SEAL Team 6, spotting dangers before you can react to them, and using your AI's aimbot to its maximum. But how does the game keep us from not doing this? Why can't I just run away with the chainsaw and ignore these foolish mortals that follow me? The answer is in the enemy design. Teamwork, in a lot of games, isn't cooperation, it's really more coercion. You don't choose to work together to survive. I mean, there are a lot of games where I don't even know why everyone's working together at all. One player who's really good at the game or just has incredible gear can just run off on their own towards victory and kind of leave everybody behind to die. It's not really fun for anyone. But in Left 4 Dead, that's not the case. One player may help pull the team along if they're really, really good. One slip up can cost them their entire life if they're on their own. The majority of the enemies in Left 4 Dead are designed to pluck the sheep that stray too far from the flock, if you like my pre-written analogy. So smokers can pull you at a distance, acting like the snipers of the zombie team. Jockeys get on your back and force you around corners, making it really hard and everyone has to chase you down. Hunters pin you down and deal incredible amounts of damage if you're already far away. If you aren't and you're in your group, they knock everyone away around you, so it kind of gives them a second to hurt you. Chargers can push you straight off ledges and into walls, and they have different animations for slamming you into different things. It's really cool, and they deal insane amount of damage just like the hunters. If you mess up a witch, they'll down you instantly, and at higher difficulties, they'll just insta-kill you. And tanks are just this massive walls of meat that you have to get your whole team together to beat up, because otherwise you're not going to do anything. If you're alone and any one of these guys gets just one use of their ability on you, you're out of the game until a friend can come and save. But if you've got your friends at your back, everything gets a lot easier. That's on purpose. This fear of instant knockout due to wandering is what keeps survivors working as a close-knit team. But now we run into a game design problem. Yes, we have the players playing the way we want them to, but now there's no challenge. By making all of our enemies focusing on picking people from the pack, they just stick as a pack. All of a sudden, everyone of our bad guys dies instantly, and there's no challenge anymore. How do we fix that? So the way that Left 4 Dead chose to fix it is they brought in a second group of enemies. They don't do a lot of damage, at least they're not meant to. They only exist to try to throw a wrench into the gears of the survivor team. So you have boomers, which are these big exploding guys that can vomit on you, clouding your vision and removing the highlights from your teammates, make it harder for you to see where your friends are. And while they do this, swarms of common infected, more on them later, flood into the place, attacking the blinded character, making them even more confused, really just causing your whole team to go into disarray. Especially if everyone gets boomered at once. Spitters, which are these toothless guys, spit acid at your team, causing them to scatter. And if they do it at the right time, they can completely separate one player from the rest of the team. Say, one player goes too far ahead and all of a sudden behind them is covered in acid spit and none of your teammates want to go through it. All of a sudden, that survivor is a prime target for one of the fightier zombie types that we mentioned earlier. Both of these infected can also affect players that are already under attack by more direct enemy types. So let's say the party is kind of split up anyway, and then the hunters and the smokers are doing their job. Well, then the boomer or the spitter can go over and just assist and be a support character as well. And there's even achievements in the game on versus mode where you get to play as the zombies versus the humans for, as a jockey, riding into some acid spit and similar situations. I mean, it's telling you that this is how they are supposed to work. And of course, on top of all these guys, we can't forget is the most important zombie type that specializes in stopping and separating the players. That would be the common infected. Basic boys, the ones that just get killed en masse. Every attack they hit against a player causes that survivor to slow down or even stop. So by doing that, they're giving all of their friends an opportunity to beat the snot out of you. They're giving the opportunity to the boomers to vomit on you, the spitters to spit and separate you from the team, the jockeys to ride you, the hunters to hunt you, the smokers to smoke you. You know how it goes. Without the barricade that is the common infected, the rarity of this second class of special infected wouldn't be enough to slow down the survivors for the heavy hitters to do their job. Now that we have all the pieces, all the purposes of the different enemy types, let's put it into something we can learn from. Okay, so at the beginning, I said I wanted to make a team-based action game. And I do. So what can I learn from everything I just discussed? Well, for one, it pays to have bad guys that reinforce the actions I want the players to take. If I want them to stay together, I need to give them a reason beyond, I said so. I should create scenarios that require teamwork in a real sense, not forced teamwork like situations where multiple players need to work together to pull a switch at the same time, or only one player has the ability to open the door or not. It's not cooperation, it's coercion. While it has its place, it's not what I'm going for. And teamwork doesn't mean bullet sponges. If the only two special infected in my game were tanks and spitters, which I feel like a lot of games do, then that wouldn't really be helping me enforce the idea of teamwork. I want an enemy list that will keep my players working together out of their own volition. Bad guys who don't technically require more than one player to handle them, but having more than one player makes it exponentially easier. Like hunters. You can stop one from pouncing on you if you perfectly time a shove, but if you mess up even slightly, you're dead unless your friends have your back. So, if you work together, you'll win. Now I have to make working together as hard as possible. I want challenges that cause the players to not work seamlessly together. I should have enemies whose goal is to get in the way of players helping each other. Block their communication, make their microphones get radio static or shut off due to attacks, make it difficult for them to be close to each other by slowing or separating them, put optical barricades between them. If there are normally markers for players to easily identify one each other, take those away from them. And then maybe add in score barricades. Maybe there's gold on the floor and that lures players towards it away from the group. Probably I won't do all these at once, and there could be temporary effects that my different bad guys do, but it lets me have an idea of what I should give my bad guys as powers. I think an even broader lesson can be learned about game design in this. You can let the players know how to win, reinforce it's the right way to win, and then make it difficult for them to actually do it. Like how in some games you'll see the exit to a level long before you know how to get there or open it up. Except instead of a single level, it's the entire gameplay. I always liked that. It helped keep me from feeling like I didn't know what I was doing. Instead of my game being confusing, my game is telling players, no, what you're doing is right, you're just not good at it yet. Keep it up and you'll do amazing very soon. And sometimes all people need is that vote of confidence to push them forward to love your game. Otherwise, even if they are doing the right thing, they might not know and stop playing because they think they don't understand how to play it. And that's that.